I was camping alone, but a stranger asked me to help a real infidelity story. Have you ever felt danger before you even understood why? The kind of instinctive jolt in your stomach that whispers turn back, even when nothing looks wrong. That's exactly what I felt the night a stranger stepped into the beam of my campfire and quietly asked, "Can you help me?" It's about my wife. I was alone. Miles from any town. No cell signal. Just trees, shadows, and a man whose eyes held a story. He seemed terrified to tell that I'd come to the northern forest to escape the noise, the arguments with my wife, Syra, and the heaviness that had settled over our home like damp air. We'd been married 8 years, long enough to know each other's favorite foods, childhood secrets, and temper triggers, yet somehow short enough that we still didn't know how to put broken pieces back together. A month before the trip, Syra and I had a fight that cracked something in us. She said I'd become distant, emotionally checked out. I said she'd become suspicious, jealous of anything that took my attention away from her, even work. We both said things we shouldn't have. Things that tasted bitter even while saying them. So I packed a tent, a sleeping bag, and a small journal, and drove into the silence of Pine Hollow Reserve. I told Syra I needed a few days to clear my head. She didn't argue. She just nodded with a tired smile, which hurt more than anger ever could. The first night passed quietly. Crickets, a cool breeze sliding between the pine trunks, the soft crackle of wood turning to ember. By the second night, the loneliness felt almost comforting. The forest didn't ask questions. It didn't expect explanations. That I was stirring noodles over the fire when I heard footsteps, real, human footsteps, not the scattered skitter of animals. I turned, expecting maybe a ranger. Instead, a man stepped forward. Tall, about my age, wearing a dark jacket and a backpack slung low. His face was lit only by the fire's glow, tired eyes, unshaven, and strangely familiar in a way I couldn't immediately place. "Sorry to bother you," he said, voice low and steady. "But I think I need your help." I didn't answer right away. There was something in the air, stillness, tension, maybe even danger. But the man lifted both hands slightly, palms open, like he sensed my fear. "My name is Imran," he said. "I'm looking for someone. Out here?" I asked, my voice tighter than intended. That he nodded. Then, after a weighted pause, "My wife." I felt a small chill crawl across my shoulders. "Is she lost?" "No," he said. "Not exactly lost." He stepped closer, just enough for the fire to reveal a thin scar along his cheek. "She ran. She told me she needed space. And then she vanished." Something clicked. That familiar feeling. The way grief sits on someone's face. "What do you want from me?" I asked. Imran glanced around the camp, scanning the trees like something might leap out. "I saw your car at the trailhead. Saw you'd been camping alone. I thought maybe," he hesitated, choosing his words like each one might explode. "Maybe you saw her." He pulled a small photo from his jacket. I expected a woman with hiking gear or a worried expression. Instead, the face staring back at me stole the breath from my chest. "Syra. My wife," but the photo wasn't new. It was from years ago, before the exhaustion in her eyes, before the arguments, before the distance. A younger Syra. One who smiled with her whole face. That I tried to steady my voice. Where did you get this?" "She's my wife," he repeated, more firmly this time. "We've been married 10 years. The world tilted sharply under me. My mouth went dry. "That's impossible." Imran studied my reaction with slow precision. "Then why," he asked quietly, "do you look like you already knew?" My mind raced, too fast, too tangled. Was this a joke? A misunderstanding? Or something far more sinister? "I don't know what you're implying," I said. "But my wife is at home. Her name is Syra too, but she left me 3 months ago," he cut in. "Took her things. Blocked my number. Told mutual friends she needed to start fresh." That can't be the same person," I stammered, Though doubt pressed hard on my ribs, Imran sat down across from me without asking permission. I followed her trail, he said. Found hotel receipts. Bank withdrawals. And then, 2 days ago, footage from a gas station. He pulled out his phone and tapped the screen. This. The video showed Syra, my Syra, wearing the same jacket she'd worn the day she said I'd become emotionally unreachable. She walked briskly, head down, and climbed into a taxi. The timestamp was from 5 days ago. She'd told me she was staying with her cousin that night that I didn't speak. Couldn't. Imran watched me with an expression twisted between hope and heartbreak. You know her, he said quietly. I can see it in your face. The truth hovered between us like fog. Yes, I finally whispered. I know her. A long silence stretched. The fire cracked. Somewhere in the distance, an owl gave a low, haunting call. Did she tell you about me? Imran asked. No, I admitted. Did you know she was married before? Again, no, he exhaled shaky breath. She never signed the divorce papers. She never answered my messages. I thought she'd found someone new. Someone she trusted. He looked at me, really looked at me. I didn't come here to fight, he said. I came to understand why she keeps running. There are moments when the truth doesn't just unfold, it detonates. That I felt the detonation now, ripping through every fragile assumption about my marriage. My wife, my partner, had lived an entire life before me. One she never closed, never confronted, never freed herself from, but the deeper shock came next. There's more, Imran said. Something you should know. He reached into his backpack and pulled out a folded letter. The edges were worn, like he'd read it 1,000 times. She left this for me, he said, handing it over. But I didn't understand it until now. My hands shook as I unfolded the paper. The handwriting was unmistakably Cyrus. Imran, I'm sorry for disappearing again. I know you think I'm afraid of you. But I'm not. I'm afraid of myself. Every time I try to start over, the guilt follows me. The truth follows me. And I keep hurting people who don't deserve to be hurt. There is someone in my life now. Someone good. Someone who thinks I'm whole. Please don't look for me. I can't face you, or him, until I figure out who I really am. Syra. The firelight flickered across the words, blurring them through my rising tears. She left 3 months ago, Imran said softly. When did she come into your life? 2 years, I whispered. She told me she'd moved from another city. Said she'd ended a long relationship. I swallowed hard. She never said she was still married. Imran nodded slowly, painfully. She wasn't lying about starting over. She just didn't know how to stop running. A deep ache settled into my chest, grief not just for the betrayal, but for the woman who carried a storm inside her and called it a life. I should hate you, I said, surprising myself. But I don't. Imran gave a broken laugh. I don't hate you either. You loved her. Maybe still do. That makes us more alike than you think. The forest seemed to listen, tall, silent witnesses to 2 men tethered by the same woman's fractured heart. What do we do now? I whispered. We wait, he said simply. Because she's not gone. She's just lost. And people who are lost eventually choose a direction. Imran stayed until the fire dimmed to glowing embers. We didn't speak much after that. There was nothing left to argue, nothing left to deny. Just 2 men sitting in the same quiet devastation, staring at the same flames. When he finally stood, he extended his hand. I took it. If she contacts you, he said, tell her I'm not angry. Tell her. I just want her to stop running. I nodded, unable to promise anything more. He disappeared into the trees the same way he'd arrived, quiet, steady, burdened. That I stayed a while longer, listening to the wind thread through the branches. Thinking about Syra. Thinking about the pieces of herself she shared with each of us, hoping someone would fit them together for her. I don't know what will happen when I return home. Whether she'll be there. Whether she'll call. Whether she'll finally tell me the truth, but I do know this. love is not always a gentle thing. Sometimes it's a maze without exit signs. Sometimes it's a mirror you're scared to look into. And sometimes, heartbreak doesn't come from the betrayal alone, it comes from realizing you never really knew the person you loved. Maybe one day she'll stop running, maybe one day I'll stop waiting, but for now, all I can do is breathe, stand up, and walk out of the forest with whatever truth I can carry.